Trigger warning. This episode contains discussions of sexual assault and may be distressing or triggering for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome back to The Feminine Perspective.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for coming back.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Verity.
Okay, so this is episode 3.
Yeah. So
Gosh, we've made it to the 3rd episode.
Oh my gosh, it's been a journey.
Mm-hmm. I feel nervous again now because it's been a little while since we've recorded.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I've been away. We've both been on holiday.
We have.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've been away for 2 weeks. How long did you go away for?
I went away for just short of a week.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did you go?
I went to Italy. So one of my friends invited me as a +1 to a wedding.
Did you know the people that were getting married?
No, I'd never met them before in my
I've
life.
done that.
And I was like, hi guys, thanks for inviting me. But I mean, it was a stunning wedding.
Yeah.
It was in Siena, so beautiful, really like vineyard country, really beautiful place. The wedding was stunning. The people were lovely, so it was just a really nice experience, the wedding itself. We were there for 3 days. The villa was paid for, the food was paid for, the drinks were paid for, so this was like a big money wedding. But yeah.
Oh, the drinks were paid for?
Yeah, and we
That's
had events on like 3 different days. So we had on the first day we had a pizza party. On the second day was the wedding, and then on the third day it was like a pool party barbecue thing, so they put all that on as well over 3 days. And then we left and we went to Pisa, and then we went to where did we go? Florence. And those were kind of different experiences, let's say. And I know you've had quite a similar experience in Italy that we're probably going to talk about on today's podcast. But it was let's just say, the etiquette of the men in Italy.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Very different to the UK.
Oh my gosh.
And
I've never experienced anything like it.
Never.
And
before.
I've experienced some shit, but that was fucking crazy.
It was rough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So everywhere you go in Italy, men will come up to you, they will make comments, they will, they're very, very
ballsy,
yeah,
maybe antsy.
antsy. I mean, even at the airport on the return journey home, I was in trackies. It didn't look particularly attractive, if I'm honest. It was
just
like
in chill clothes.
And there was this stag do coming back on the plane with us, and
Were they Italian?
Coming to London for a stag do, which was quite an interesting concept, but
fair enough. I get it, to be fair. There's lots to do in London, so makes sense.
And it was so every time I walked past them, they were like, oh, you're so cute, and I'm just like, really, guys? Like, I thought this was over now. We're at an airport. What is this? But I guess it's just a difference in culture, I suppose.
The thing is, you say that, but I don't even think that's an excuse. I think they're just shitty men.
It was like England, I would say, about 20 years ago, when you walked past the building site. Or if you were walking up a club in, like, walking up the stairs in a club, and so people would grab you and stuff. Like, now that wouldn't happen, but 20 years ago it would. And it was very, very similar to that. But yes, I'm interested to hear your experience, because you've waited until the podcast
I have, to share
me.
I wanted to share it on here because I think it is something that unfortunately does happen a lot. So I was away for 2 weeks in total. I went on a cruise. I would recommend, to be fair. Like, it was very social. It was fun. So we went to it went from Barcelona first, so we spent 2 nights in Barcelona, and then we went to the port there, and then it went from Barcelona to Italy, Crete, Turkey, Mykonos, ended in Athens, and we'd been to Paros as well. So we saw a lot in a short space of time. So Italy was our first stop, which is fabulous that this happened straight away. So it just sort of set the tone for the holiday for me a little bit. So we departed from Barcelona. We had a day cruising at sea, and then it was Italy next. And oh my gosh, it was literally crazy. And I don't even think it has anything to do with what you're wearing. Like,
no,
I honestly think if I was wearing anything different, I think even if I was with a guy, I don't even think this would have stopped it from happening. I think they are just a different breed.
I think so. I have been to Italy with a guy before, and I didn't notice it as much when I was with a guy.
Okay, maybe then.
They would make comments, but it would be like, oh, she's very beautiful.
Yeah.
And it would be
more
to
respectful
him.
comments.
Very respectful.
To him, of course.
To him, yeah. Oh, she's very pretty. Rather than...
As if you are a product of his ownership.
As if I don't exist. Really.
Yeah.
But for them, that's what they did. So, but I didn't notice it as much, and it definitely wasn't as, like, pervy, I would say. It was much more like respectful language. But yeah, the clothes, irrelevant.
No, I don't think that. Completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
So it literally was, from the moment we stepped out, it was every 5 seconds. And I'm not exaggerating as well. Like, genuinely, I probably walked about every 3 steps and someone was either gawking at me or said something. 9 times, obviously, it was in Italian, so I don't know what they were saying.
Just shouting at you.
But you know when men look at you and they like look at you up and down like that, and I'm like, ugh, stop that. Like, the men are dogs there. So we had a tour around Italy first, and we did it with like a taxi driver. That was fine, and he was nice. So we started off, he just took us to a bunch of different places. We did go to the catacombs of Palermo, and that was my god, nuts. Like, I do find that sort of thing interesting. Like, I didn't know what it was. Like, I went in blind. Like, I did not know what to expect.
Is it underground?
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, you hear about the catacombs of Paris and things like that. And I'd looked at that before, and that is just skulls and things. Anyway, you go down into, like, deep underground, and then it's just this walkway, and, like, it's just full of dead bodies. And it's
like with
mummified. Like with flesh on, but they're not encased in anything. They're just out in the open.
Oh no, I don't
so
know how I feel about
my
this.
god, no, I didn't enjoy.
Did it smell?
It didn't smell like death.
Okay.
As such, it just smelled like, the way I would describe it is, it just smelled like musky. You know, like just a room of stagnant air that's quite dusty. It smelled weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It did have a smell, but it was interesting. And I did think that maybe this is why this experience happened to me, because I'd gone to see this thing. And I'm a bit superstitious like that.
Okay.
So I'm very, like, energy aware. And when I was walking around and looking at the catacombs, I just kept repeating, like, I had the feeling of, like, this is negative. I didn't like the feeling of being there. And I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Like, so it's a walkway, none of it's encased in glass. It's out, and these dead bodies are literally just out in the open. Like, if I reached across, I could touch them.
So how did they?
But obviously, I didn't do that.
No. How did they get put there? Is it just like normal, like, people burying their family?
I don't know. I didn't really. There wasn't any information in it though.
That's just
which is weird. Yeah. So I didn't, like, obviously I didn't know anything about it. And I know there's a really famous little girl that's in there, and she is very preserved, like, just looks like a girl sleeping, and she's like she's got her own section at the back, like, there was loads of children in there as well. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. And like, when I was walking around, I just kept saying in my head, I was like, I don't claim any of this energy here. Thank God as well, I had my nails done. I had, like, evil eyes on my nails, so I felt like a little bit protected.
You're like, you back off, everyone.
Yeah, and I just was saying, like, oh, God bless you all, like, I'm so sorry for being here, like, because I just felt like, you know, when something's it was that mad that I thought I should not be seeing this. Anyway, we went to a beautiful, like, chapel straight after. Thank God. Felt like I cleansed myself after that. That was very busy. So yeah, after our tour of Italy finished, we then walked around, and we got on one of those horse and carriage rides.
Okay.
And we thought it was a good way to see more of Italy.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously we're with a cruise, you're only there for like half a day, really. So we got on this horse and carriage ride. My friend, she was sat in the back, and he told me to sit at the front with him. And I should have just fucking sat in the back. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. I'm a bit of because I'm frustrated with how I dealt with it, but also I do give myself grace, because I understand why I dealt with it the way that I did, because you don't know it until you're in it. And I feel like, because I was out of my comfort zone, and obviously I'm with someone who you install a lot of trust in someone.
You do, and also if you don't normally go on horse and carriage rides,
yes,
you're going to do what
I'm just going to do what you tell me. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I maybe need to sit at the front
Yes.
because it distributes the weight more evenly or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like on an aeroplane kind of thing. If you don't do it,
that's
you
true.
don't know. So
Exactly.
you're just like, okay, yeah, I'll sit at the front. Makes sense.
Yeah, so I just did as I was told, and I feel like I went back into like the unhealed version of me a little bit, and I just thought, if I'm polite, I can just, you know, everything will be smooth sailing and whatever. So in the back, you're like, you've got a back to where you're sitting and stuff, like it feels safer, whereas I'm just on this box with nothing behind me, you know. So every time the horse would stop and then it would go again, I literally would like launch backwards slightly, and I've got nothing to hold on to. So at first he grabbed my hand and he put it on his leg and he was like, it's okay. And I had my hand on his leg and I just went like I just awkwardly laughed, and then 2 seconds after I was like, and put my hand back. And I thought, and then he was Google translating with us, so he could speak the very basics of English but not obviously have a conversation with us. And he was Google translating with us, and it very quickly got weird.
Oh no.
And it was mildly funny at first, and then it very quickly became not very funny anymore.
What was he saying?
So I took a screenshot, like I took a photo of the thing that one of the things he Google translated, and he said something like, you two look lovely, like you two look good enough to kiss and bite, like I want to bite you both. And I showed it to Jess, and we both were like, we should go.
Yeah,
like this.
Let's get off this.
Let's get off this.
And this doesn't seem like a good idea anymore.
No.
Get me off this ride.
Yeah. So we Google translated with him then, like, can you take us back to the cruise ship because it leaves soon? Like, we need to get back. And he was like, yeah. Didn't fucking take us back.
Where did you go?
He just fucking like circled around like Italy and took us to see this 150-year-old tree.
Oh, great.
Yeah, brilliant.
Did you get a picture with the tree?
I got a picture of the tree, yeah. Obviously, eventually went back, and he took us quite close to the cruise ship, but off the main road, he went just down this, like, side alley, like, street. Now it makes sense why he did that. And, so Jess got off first, and then I got off, but you have to sort of, like, climb down, don't you? So as I went to get off, he literally grabbed me by the waist, like, gripped onto my clothes, pulled me back, and I like sort of fell back, and then my knees like clipped his knee, so I fell onto his lap.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then he's put his arms around me, and then was like to Jess, he was like, picture, and me and her were like, no, like we need to get back. I was like, no, sorry, we need to get back. And he was like, picture, and then Jess was like, oh, okay. She was like, all right. She took a picture. I look fucking uncomfortable in the photo.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm not smiling. I'm like looking, I'm just, you know, she took the photo in case he was like showing me, just in case. Obviously she deleted it afterwards because I did not want to look at that photo. And then again, I go to get off. He grabs me by my face, like by my neck, and then kisses me on the lips. Yeah, and I could taste his fucking musky breath.
Oh,
like,
that's gross.
Disgusting. This man was so absolutely disgusting. And then I like grabbed his, like, had his head, and I shoved him off of me, and I was like, enough. And I said, like, I was like, enough, like, fuck off. You know, I was fucking angry at this point. I was pissed off that this has happened to me. And as I like shoved him off and said enough, I then tried to clamber off the thing. And obviously you've got to, like, you know when you jump down off something, you sort of bend and go
your
off.
bum kind of.
Yes, as I did that, he put his hand through my skirt.
No, he didn't.
Through the back of me and like touched my.
That's disgusting.
Disgusting. Yeah, I know.
Oh my.
I have to laugh because if I don't, I will cry.
No, actually, really disgusting.
Disgusting. I've not been violated like that since I was a teenager, and yeah, I got off and then I was like, did you see that? And she was like, yeah. And then she was like, are you okay? And I was like, I just want to go back. Like, I just didn't want to talk. I was like, I need to get back. We got back to the cruise ship, and I was, you know, but I guess you're just sort of processing it. And then we had small talk, like just saying, I fucking can't believe, like, the men here are fucking crazy. And then we finally got back into the cruise ship, then went all the way to our room. As soon as we got into our room, I just burst into tears because I was like, oh my God, I literally can't believe that has happened to me.
No.
And it's meant like...
It's a sexual assault.
It is. Yeah.
That is a sexual assault. And the thing is, as women, we tend to, and especially this is what I was saying, like 20 years ago, it was normalised. You would walk upstairs in a club and guys would grab you, and that was okay. Like, you never had a right to say, and you had a right, but people never used to, because no one's going to listen to you, and nobody viewed it as a sexual assault 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And maybe in Italy they don't see that as a sexual assault, but certainly here that is a sexual assault.
Yeah.
And you do not do that.
Like, completely violated me.
Completely. Here, that's you can take that to the police, and the police will prosecute somebody. Over there, I doubt they'd
no, they'd just laugh in my face.
Yeah.
Of course they would.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Why aren't you happy for the attention? It's that kind of attitude. It's really heartbreaking to hear that you went through that, to be honest.
Like, afterwards, obviously, you know, I'm thinking, oh, what could I have done differently, and blah blah blah. No, I know that, but like, you do have that moment, don't you, where you think,
you internalise it, and you're like, oh, did I give them any signs?
Yeah, I definitely didn't give them any sign.
No, that's horrendous.
Afterwards, though, like, so my mum called me, like, at the end of the day, and was, obviously, I started telling her about what happened, and I got upset on the phone, and her first response was, why the fuck didn't you hit him? And I'm like, that's not productive, like, at all. Like, yeah, what? And just, you know, yes, you can have that argument of, well, why didn't you hit him? But at the same, like, I'm in a foreign country. I don't speak his language. I don't know if he's carrying a weapon. I don't know these things, you know
in that moment how you're going to react to something like that either. And, you know, you can't say, why do people not do this and why do people not do that? Like, actually, in that moment, you're operating from a place of fight and flight.
Yes, exactly.
You're not using your, like...
logic.
Yeah, you're not. And when our fight or flight kind of takes over, the adrenaline response, it stops our, like, executive functioning on purpose, because we need to either run or fight. And in that moment, you chose to run. And that was an automatic response.
It's just because I thought, like, I just thought, oh, what else could happen to me if I chose to kick up a fuss? You know, and this is why I say I go back into that unhealed version of me, because I felt like if I was just polite and just I just wanted to get out of the situation. I can deal with it after. There's nothing I can do now. It's happened, you know. But I just thought, I just need to get out of this as safely as possible, because I don't know if I then kicked up a fuss and was like, fuck you, and punched him. I don't know what he's carrying, or he could be aggressive. I feel like if that happened to me in the UK, I may have probably punched him.
And the thing is, as well, the level of protection you're going to have in the UK
is very different.
Very different from the men around. If they see that, they're not going to stand for that. And neither are the girls that, you know, in that situation. Also, you're in your home country. You're in a place that you know, it's your environment. I know we obviously go to different cities and things, but you control that environment. You know what the local, like, the norms are of the country. And so
I know my rights, and I can actually take that to the police and
exactly
stuff.
Exactly, a different experience completely. But it's interesting, and you know, obviously it's not just Italy that's like that. So in Poland, I had a similar experience where my friend and I took over a kebab shop drunkenly, not rudely. The kebab shop in Poland was like just a window, so you couldn't wait indoors. And we were cold, so we asked, can we wait indoors, like in the actual shop where you're preparing the kebabs, whilst we wait for our food? And the guy was like, yeah, that's fine. And then the customers started coming to the window. So I was like, oh, I'll make their kebab for them. It was, like, quite funny at the time. So I was making their kebabs and stuff, although I couldn't understand a word they were saying. It was in Polish. And it was fine. They were, like, having a bit of a joke and a laugh in Polish. And then we got our food and we were going to leave. And as we were going to leave, he reaches behind me and he's, like, grabs my boobs, and he's like, oh, very nice, like, in my face, like, fighting him, getting him off me.
Ew.
But in that situation, it's like, I'm just kind of going back to what you were saying in terms of, like, did you do anything to deserve that? Absolutely not. you know, I don't see how getting on a horse and cart with somebody and sitting with them at the front then is like an invitation to grab you, sit you on his lap, and then, you know, violate you as you get off. Just like, you know, going into a kebab shop and asking to wait in the warmth and being like playful, serving kebabs to people isn't an invitation to then grab me. A similar thing happened in London recently. So my daughter and I went to London for her birthday, and it was a sunny day. We went to Camden, and Camden gets busy on a sunny day, so we wanted to sit outside on these tables. We sat down, and we were like, there was no table, like there were no free tables basically. We had to sit next to like these guys who were fine, like we weren't talking to them, but we were just like sat down having our own conversation, and then they started talking to us, and they were all right in the beginning. They're from Bulgaria, and they were like, oh, shall we do you guys want a drink? And I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, can you go to the bar and just make sure there's nothing in these drinks, right? Which, you know, my daughter did, and then we kind of took it in turns. And then I can't remember what happened, but I wanted to go back into the bar, so I was like, come on, we're gonna go back into the bar. And as I stood up to get up, this guy who was sat next to me grabbed my hair, my face, pulled me towards him and kissed my lips, and I was like, get off me. And then my daughter's going, get off her, like, no. And then even his friend is like, you can't do that here, get off her. So I managed to get him off me. I walked into this bar, went to the bar, and the guy kind of came in behind and like followed me to the bar, and then put his hand on the back of my neck. And I must have looked so uncomfortable to the guy serving me that, well, he said, like, are you okay? And I was like, absolutely not. And he was like, well, initially I was like, no, I'm fine. And he was like, don't lie to me, like, I can see how uncomfortable you look and how awkward you look. Are you okay? And I was like, no. And he went, right, get them out. Chucked them all out.
Oh, that's good.
And then we got talking.
Yeah. Oh, you got talking to the guy?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened there?
So that's the guy I was talking to you about earlier. So
okay.
He is someone that I'm now like seeing.
Okay.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you talk about?
Just everything.
Oh, I love this.
I know.
Give me the gossip.
And just that I think in itself was like a
what
real
hero as well.
What a hero. Yeah. I was like, oh my god, it's my knight in shining armour. So we just started talking. Well, he gave us some free shots. I don't know whether I'm allowed to say that, because he said don't tell my manager, but
it's all right, you won't know who we're talking about.
No. And then the bar then also gave me some free drinks as well, so we got like
nice
free drinks because of the experience, even though it wasn't their fault. And then we just started talking about loads of different things, really. Swapped numbers. Then we were all going to go to the club together, but then I got too drunk because I'd had too many free shots, and changed my mind and went back to the hotel.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, and then we just never really stopped talking.
How old is he?
He's
for God's sake.
He's 25.
You love the young ones.
I do. I can't help it. Like, I don't know what it is about me. I just
They're
can't.
so cute, aren't they?
They are. Do you know what I love about it?
Moldable. I'm joking.
No, maybe a little. But like, what I love about them is they are just so they're just so like different to my generation, who would have said, oh, it's okay for you to grab women and do this and do that. Like, the chivalry in the younger generation is so real, and like,
really,
that's my experience of
interesting
them. Which isn't yours. Maybe it's because I'm
I don't
older.
know. It can be, but there are some people that aren't as well. I thought that would have been more interesting.
No, my generation's not chivalrous at all. Millennials, no way.
Why is that?
I think they were raised on the cusp of like, well, so they kind of grew up in the 90s, didn't they? Which was very much like body shaming. Women were very much like, sexual objects. So you had like girl power and stuff, but it was much more you know, like if you were not a size 0, like you would be fat. You've seen all the fat shaming stuff from the 90s on Instagram and stuff?
No,
Never?
I don't think so.
So there would be people that would be like your size or my size, and on TV, and they would be like, oh, considered a plus size.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not joking. Which is insane.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, if you're not like stick thin, anorexic, heroin looking, then yeah, you would be a plus size.
That's awful.
You're a plus size.
What the hell?
Or a plus
so you think that's where it comes from?
I think it comes from like an era where women were really objectified still, and still, I mean, we still are today.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot better though.
It's loads better,
sure.
And men are as well now. So
yeah,
these
they're
days
learning
a bit more
now.
fair. Yeah,
I think because women are evolving and men are now having to evolve or get left behind.
Exactly. So I think that is probably why my generation are a bit like that. They're very I don't find their morals and their things attractive, I suppose. And I think also it's about life stages as well. Like most people my age want to settle down.
Yeah.
And I do not. Like, not saying that I don't want a partner, but I do not want to settle down with a mortgage. Like, my goals would be, I want to travel the world.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter's grown up now.
So you got your freedom back, really?
I got my freedom back. So I'm not going to want to be with, like, someone who's, like, late 30s, early 40s, maybe with kids, maybe with an ex-wife.
Yeah,
maybe
true.
with a mortgage, which is tying me down. I want to go and see the world and do things.
Yeah, see, when I've dated older, I haven't really dated much older, to be honest, but I think the oldest I've dated was like 30.
Yeah.
And I was 24. And I quickly realised why he's still single at 30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was he like?
So basically so I watched Married at First Sight, and he wasn't one of the main people on there, but he was the... What do you call, like, best man? Yeah. He was the best man to one of the grooms of the not this one, the last one previously. And I watched it and I was like, oh my god, he's so attractive. So I followed him on Instagram. He followed me back, and then we started messaging, and I think I was just normally I date very logically, but I think because I was just like, oh my god, can't believe it worked. You know, he actually likes me, you know.
He's famous as well. Well, semi-famous.
Not really.
Yeah. He's like the best man of a Married at First Sight person. Yeah.
So, I obviously started dating him, and, you know, I think I sort of let him get away with a lot in the beginning, because I just was like, oh my god, can't believe he's interested in, you know? Like, I know it's so stupid to think that, because he's literally a normal guy.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that I watched him on there, shot my shot, and it worked, I was like, fucking hell, this is cool, you know? Anyway, yeah, like... No. He just was a sex pest, and just... I could tell he was so manipulative.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, like, he could not take criticism at all.
Oh, like narcissistic.
Not at all.
Yeah, can't laugh at himself, can't take a joke.
No, he was very serious.
Yeah.
And, it just wasn't, you know, wasn't a bit of me. And then that just, you know, it ended eventually. One of his girlfriend actually messaged me on Instagram.
What, now? Recently?
Fairly recently, yeah.
His girlfriend?
Yeah, so we were still, after I ended it, he'd still message me, and I'd like speak to him here and there, but like I wasn't bothered about meeting him again. And he would still like try and have like sexual chat with me, but because I've clocked out and I'm not interested, I'd literally just ignore him. And then he'd like unsend his message the next day, or he'd send me like a bit of a shitty message, you know what I mean? And I think like, you're giving me the ick now.
Yeah, stay away from me.
Yeah, so last time I spoke to him was November, I think. And literally like a month later, it was like December, so it wasn't, it was actually quite a little while ago now. I'm thinking we're in June now.
Yeah, it's like 6 months
yeah. She messaged me in like December or January, I think it was. And she was just like, which is kind of crazy actually, that you've gone through his following and just messaged all these women. Fair play, I mean, I respect, women are crazy.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
I also, though, I just think I couldn't be asked to do that.
No, it's too long.
If I'm suspecting my man's cheating on me, you're gone. You're done. Yeah.
I know it's hard to build that trust initially.
It is,
in someone,
yeah.
But once you trust them,
yeah,
like, unless there's a reason to, Well, I don't even think I would, like you say, I don't even think I would go through it. I think I'd be like, maybe when I was younger I might have done, but now I'd be like,
oh yeah, no, I wouldn't even give that 2 seconds of
no, just like
attention.
this is how I feel, you're out of this. Yeah.
So yeah, she messaged me, and like the message was fair enough. She just said, oh, like, do you know this guy, and you know, just wondering like how you know him, blah blah blah. So I just thought, I'm a fucking girl's girl through and through. I will, if any girl ever said that to me, I'm like, I'll give you all the information you need, like, you know. And I called her because it was just easier rather than me typing out explaining. So I called her and was like, hey, like, you know, why did you ask? And she was like, oh, I'm his girlfriend now. And I was like, okay. And I said to her, like, I just said what happened, and I said I ended it with him like earlier, but you know, we still message every now and then, and he'll still send me like, you know, free messages. And I said to her, last time we spoke was November, and she was like, oh, I started dating him in, like, it was before November, I don't know when she said, maybe October, September, something like that. And I was like, and I said, I mean, I was like, I haven't met him since, like, I've not sent him any, like, it's not crossed the line as such, you know. And he did, when she said that they started dating then, but they started officially dating, it was like in November, December time. Okay. And then I said to her, I was like, to be fair, he hasn't messaged me since November. So I was like, you know, I said that's down to your boundaries and what you're comfortable with. But I was like, you got to give him some sort of grace, to be fair, because in the early stages, I think it doesn't fucking matter.
No, and you're not committed to each other. You can't. How do you do that? How can you can't meet somebody and then go, oh yeah, we're, you know, you can't see anyone else now.
Yeah. No, not from the get-go.
No,
you've got to get to know someone, 100%. Yeah. If I started dating someone and then straight away they're like, should we make it exclusive? I'd be like, no.
Slow down.
Like, let me actually figure you out first. Yeah, exactly. Like, give me a second.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I would be like, yeah, sure, because I was naive and would love so openly. But when you've been burned a few times, you're like, no.
Hang on a second.
Yeah. That's the one thing I regret about... I understand why. Like, I used to love so openly, and I have so much love to give, and I used to wear my heart on my sleeve, and I got burned a few times.
Do you feel like it makes you overly suspicious of people?
Yes. Yeah. I'm so, like, my walls are so up high. I find it really difficult to let people in. Yeah. Really difficult.
It's like, I find myself analysing the smallest behaviours.
Yes, me too.
We were talking earlier, weren't we, about likes on reels on Instagram. So I'm like, oh, this is an interesting reel. This one is one that you've liked, and it suggests that you're like something along the lines of thinking like a player. So I'm like, oh, is that your way of thinking? Yeah. Even stuff like that, I'm like delving into, like really, really analysing people. Yeah. But I don't think it's a bad thing. It means that you're not blindsided. Yeah. And it means that you aren't going to give your heart easily to somebody.
Definitely.
You can still, like, learn to trust them, learn to love them, or, like, give them your love, but you're always going to have that little part of you protecting yourself.
For sure. Yeah. I definitely am like that now, you know, and it's a shame because now I see maybe why, like, me before I was quite open to, like, narcissistic love bombing and stuff, because I was just had so much genuine love to give, and I think they pry on that. But also on the flip side, I think for someone who isn't like that, that could come off as a bit much, you know, because I'm very, like, my words of affirmation used to be like my top love language. It's not anymore, but it used to be, and I will give you a compliment, like, and I'm very open. I'll tell you exactly how I'm feeling. And I think that, you know, when you've been burned a few times and you meet someone like that, I know I do, if I meet someone like that, I instantly think, oh, you fucking love bombing me, and I'm suspicious of your kindness.
Right away.
Yeah.
I'm definitely like that. I'm like, oh, I don't know, is this genuine? I like the love bombing side of things. I'm like, I can't tell if it's genuine or if you're love bombing me, but instantly it will just be like, no, there's something not right, and then I'll just be judging you.
See, I will see it through. Like, I'm the type, when I date quite silently. Unless you cross a major boundary with me, I'll tell you straight. But if not, I will log it. So every time someone will do something, just small things, where I'm like, that was a bit weird. I'm like, noted.
Yeah.
And then because I'm building up a profile about you and who the type of person I think you are and whether I'm capable of having a loving, a safe relationship with you.
Yeah.
If there's too many of these like small issues,
Like tiny red flags.
Yeah, because they do lots of small patterns in behavior. Like I know the difference between a mistake and a character flaw.
Yeah.
So, all these little red flags do build up into something where I'm like,
giant red
one big one, where I'm like, oh, there it was. Because the signs are always there, always there. And yeah, it's hard because there are a lot of people like that that aren't genuine and authentic, and it's such a shame.
It is a shame.
But when you meet the ones who are, it's like, oh wow, because they're so bloody rare.
Yeah, so rare. And I feel like very obvious as well.
I don't know if that's the same for women.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they look for certain things, don't they, guys and women? Like, well, I suppose different guys look for different things.
Different things, yeah.
So what would be a red flag to one might not be a red flag to another.
Yeah.
But
I've heard some stories though from people I've dated of like,
have you?
Yeah, where I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's off. And it's
really?
Interesting because then I'm like, oh, it does, like, it's common in women as well.
Yeah.
For like the other way around.
Yeah.
Which, is fair enough. Like, it just, I think dating is so hard, which is why I thought it was interesting that you said that older men are a bit more,
Yeah.
they're not as chivalrous. And
They're not. I've never had like an older, maybe if they're a lot older they might be quite chivalrous, but I've never had someone from my generation like open doors for me or
that's
pull
crazy.
my chair out and that.
See, I'm fucking anal about that.
Yeah.
See, if I go on a date, I'll literally, we're walking up to somewhere, I'll then stand to the side. Open the fucking door for me. Like,
why are you not doing this?
It's not hard, I will thank you, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like training them.
Yeah.
To train. I won't even approach the door, I'll just stand to the side.
And then they're like, why aren't you going in?
Nah, they normally straight away
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the first time I went on a date with this guy, so he opened the door for me and I was like, oh, this is nice. And then pulled out my chair. But I didn't realise this is how bad my generation of men are. So I was like, he was like, where do you want to sit? And I was like, I want to sit there. And then he pulled the chair out and I was like, oh, do you want to sit there? So I went and sat
I thought you were going to say you like fell on your ass. Like,
no. I just was like, oh, that's where you want to sit. Oh, okay, I'll go and sit around there then.
Yeah.
And he was like, what are you doing? Like, I'm pulling
like,
the chair up for you. Yeah. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, it's that common.
It's that uncommon in millennials.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Never had that happen before in my generation.
That is crazy.
Yeah. That's why younger guys are the ones to go for. Like you say, slightly moldable. And also exciting. Like they've got their life ahead of them.
Yeah.
And much more freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose. Do you think maybe that's where, I guess maybe you would align more with someone younger because of the things that you're interested in?
Yeah.
So that's why you tend to go for them younger.
Yeah.
Not too young, obviously, though, because that would be a crime.
Yes. No. Like 10 years is my maximum.
Oh, okay. So 25 is like the lowest.
The lowest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be going for people that were like 23.
See, even though like I'm 25 now, and for me, even 23, I'm like, I'd screw my nose up a little bit at 23.
But there's a big age difference in your 20s. Like,
but I would go for someone, my max would probably be like 32, 33, I would say.
Yeah.
Would be my
older.
like, yeah.
Yeah. And I think I was like that in my 20s. Like, I wouldn't have dated somebody younger. I think maybe I did actually for a little bit. But it was mainly like older guys that were a couple of years older than me. I dated one guy in my 20s. He was 20 years older than me. Yeah, I know.
That's too much.
That was just a time that we don't want to talk about on here. But
how old were you?
I was 23.
He was 43.
He told me he was 42, but actually turned out he lied about his age. He was 47.
No.
Yeah, I only found that out when we.
That's so much better, isn't it? 42.
I know. I was like, what a weird thing to do, to lie and be like,
oh my god,
yeah, I'm
bro's
42.
nearly 50 and dating a 23-year-old.
Nearly 50.
Like, just say you were wrong.
Yeah, it was close.
Just say you like kids.
Yeah, basically. And I only found
So
out
weird.
he was that age when we went on holiday together. And
you went on. Oh, you were seriously seeing him?
yeah. Oh, shall I give you some dirt on this
Go
guy?
on, yes.
Okay, so I don't want to get in trouble with my previous employers because.
Okay.
But so this guy was
not with them anymore, so don't work for them anymore, so it's fine.
So this guy was my boss's. Well, this guy interviewed me for my first job, and he kind of came on quite strong. And I was like, whoa. And he was like, oh, sorry, I think I got my wires crossed. And I was like, I'd literally gone to him for some interview advice.
Had you got the job at this point?
No, I hadn't got the job. So I'd gone to him.
Oh, and he already was making moves.
I was a student on placement in one of the other teams in the trust.
And a student as well. That just
really
just nails it in the coffin, doesn't it?
Yeah, I won't mention the trust, obviously.
No, of course.
So, so I was a student on placement, one of the other teams, and I went for a job that had come up in this team. And he was like, yeah, I'll give you some advice. Why don't you come to mine? So I went to his, and he was like going through everything. I don't know why at 23 I didn't think, why is the guy inviting you to his house?
Yeah. But you're naive, aren't you? You're stupid when you're young.
Yeah. At 35 I would go.
Even me at 23 versus 25. Oh, completely fucking different human being.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I am completely different.
Yeah.
So I'm way more intelligent now.
Yeah. I was so naive back then. Now I'd be like, I'm not fucking coming to your house. What do you mean? Send me in an email.
Yes.
I don't even want to meet you. Just give me some advice. Let's do it on Microsoft Teams. That's what I'd be like. So I went to his house, and then as I was leaving, he cornered me at the door and tried to kiss me, and I was like, whoa.
How long was you there for?
I was there for a good hour. We were just talking.
Okay, just an hour. That's not very long.
And then I was like, right, I'm gone, and then it was this really narrow corridor to his front door, and I was stuck then, and he kind of leant in, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna sideways out the door, which is what I did. Anyway, he texted me and he was like, oh, sorry, wires crossed. I went for the interview, and there were 3 people on the panel, and so I did get the job.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Surprising.
Yeah. Well, I know, after
oh, of course you would have done after he made moves like that. Know.
And then he kind of worked on me when I joined the team. So he was so I was a band 5 at the time, so he was a band 7, and then he got promoted to a band 8.
What's this band stuff?
So it's where you go in the NHS.
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you've got 9 bands.
Oh, damn. Okay, so he's quite high up.
So he then went to be the manager of several teams. Anyway, I ended up dating this guy for a year and a half, and it was very well.
Damn.
Yeah,
this older guy.
Yeah, this older guy, very well known at work. And randomly one day, and it was really weird. I'd be around his house, and I thought, right, you're never answering your phone on a Saturday. Never answered his phone on a Saturday. Really strange. And then also,
he's got secret wife and kids.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
Oh,
he had kids.
I knew it.
You're like, well,
it's so easily what's the word?
Obvious.
Yeah, it's so obvious.
But at 23, it wasn't. So he had kids from his marriage, and he when I went round, he would always hide all my shit in a drawer. And I was like, why is all my stuff in this drawer? And I opened it one day. It was
Would you go round on a specific day?
No, I'd go around quite a few days, or he'd come to mine. So we saw each other
Did you think he was 42 at this point as well, still?
Yeah, still. No, at this point I think I'd found out.
He was 47?
That he was 47, but I just kind of thought...
Girl.
Whatever. Anyway, and then I was getting my stuff out of this drawer, and then I was like... It's been Valentine's Day recently, and there was a Valentine's Day card in there, and I was like, I didn't get him this card. And I opened it, and it was to so-and-so from so-and-so, and I was like, that's interesting. He's never mentioned that name as one of his exes. So I knew about all his exes. He'd been through all their names, but he's never mentioned that name. So that's, to me, I was like, that's not an ex. Major red flag.
I mean, there were multiple.
Oh, so many. I should have dipped a long time before this, but anyway, I didn't. So, and then at work, and I get a text message, and they're like, hi, is this Verity? And I'm like, yeah. Is this the Verity that's seeing so-and-so? I'm not going to say
She sent you a text?
She sent me a message, and I went, yeah, it is. Why? Who are you? And she was like, well, I'm also seeing him. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. And I was like, wow, how long have you been seeing him for? And she was like, well, we're actually engaged. We've been together like 4 years.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also not shocking.
Not shocking. And she married him in the end.
Oh, what an idiot.
Yeah, I know. And then she tried to add me on Snapchat like last year. It was really weird.
Why?
I don't know. And then,
years later?
Yeah, and then it told me, you know when someone takes a screenshot of your profile?
Yeah.
That she'd done that? I was like, mate,
why?
I'm sorry.
Years later?
I don't know, but why do you think that I've got anything to do with your shitty husband? I don't know. Like, he was dropped.
I'm guessing
out.
you deaded that off straight away.
Deaded, deaded, buried, burned, gone. He was like, yeah, I want nothing to do with this guy.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Gross. And when I think about it now, I'm like, he was so ugly to me as well now. Yeah. Now I look at him, I'm like, oh, you're so ugly. You're so unattractive. You're so old. You're so full of shit. How did I fall for your bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I sometimes I look back at my life and I'm like, how did you not see this?
Yeah. It's naivety though, isn't it? Hindsight's a great thing.
It is.
But you have to have those experiences to become wiser.
Yes.
Which is why I'm not angry at like any of my experiences. Because I'm like, it had to happen and I understand that.
And now you've got your big wall that you're like,
yep. That nobody can get by.
Just there with like bow and arrows over the side. You are not coming in. Yeah. And if you do get through these walls, there are also backups.
Yes,
as well.
there are. Yeah, there's booby traps.
There's booby traps, literally.
So you were going to tell me about this guy that you'd met at this bar. Like, I don't know how we segued off of that, but did you? So what's happened? You said you started seeing him now.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much on here because, like, I do like him.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want. And I think he probably will end up watching this podcast.
Yeah.
So,
hello if you're watching.
Yeah. So I don't want to say too much. But yeah, I like him. It's going well. I still have
What do you find attractive about him?
His energy, mostly. Okay. Like, he's an attractive guy. But his energy.
Show me a picture of him.
Yeah, I will. I'll show you a picture. He's funny, he's sweet, he's really caring. Okay. And he's got like a really pure heart, and the kind of like stuff that he sends me on Instagram is all like things that it's just very meaningful stuff, like and I know that sounds really, really superficial, but I like it.
Just be careful.
Yeah,
because you know it's very easy to put on a facade for the first early stages. Yeah. I'll just keep your wits about you.
I'm still there behind my wall with my booby traps, and I have spoken to him and said, you know, trust does not come easily for me.
I think you should trust before given a reason not to, but in the same breath it also takes time. So like trust is like here, and then it goes up over time as well.
Exactly. Like I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but I am also going to have these discussions with you, like this is how I'm feeling, or this, I don't like this might make, like, I feel like this is making me feel a certain way. So I am very much behind that wall. I don't feel like, which he knows, like he knows that it's gonna take a lot to get me like fully trusting, but that's okay. Like I agree, I think trust is something that's given, benefit of the doubt, but earned. You got to earn a lot to climb over the walls.
Definitely. For me, it definitely takes a hell of a lot, like, and it is, I'm so aware of it. And I'm a bit of a, I would say, I don't know, it's hard to say. I would say maybe I'm a little bit of a self-sabotager now, but I'm also not, in a sense of that I'm very self-aware. So when I'm dating someone, I get that feeling of, I want to run away. But I'm aware of that feeling, and I'm like, no, Emily, like, let's see it through, you know?
Do you think that's like an avoidant attachment that you've got now?
Oh, yeah. I think that's developed for me massively. As avoidancy,
So like, oh, this is feeling really uncomfortable, I'm gone.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's hard because I wouldn't say, maybe in the early stages I am a bit more avoidant. Yeah, like I can not be very quick to reply, and that can piss a lot of people off and stuff. Because now and again, it's just learned behavior. When I was younger, I used to text you all the time, all day, every day, and then it fills a false sense of connection when you're texting someone all the time, you know. And then also that gives room for, because I've dated narcissists, and you know, they give you all that energy and then they start to withdraw, and then you start to feel anxious because they're not messaging you as much. And they do it on purpose. So
to reel you in and get you hooked.
Yes, exactly.
And then you're not getting that supply anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't even like to give them the opportunity to be able to make me anxious, because you hear from me twice a day anyway.
Oh, sorry, bro, you've got another 8 hours to go before you get my text back.
But also, like, I don't do it completely on purpose. Like, I am very busy as well. Like, I work full time. My job is very hands-on and sociable. So, you know. But this is the thing, like, the battle that I have is that I recognize these feelings in myself of this sort of like flightiness, or where I'm maybe a bit anxious because I'm just not trusting at all. But I'm very good at staying in the situation and recognizing that I feel that way, and just, you know, I think I can make good decisions and good judgment based off feeling and noting that I feel that way.
Detachment.
Yes, I'm really good at detaching.
Observing.
Yes.
And that's how I feel I am.
Oh, I'm not like, I do not give myself emotionally at all anymore in the very early, like, it takes a fucking long time for me. Like a good 3 or so months, I would say, before I start maybe feeling the most minimal of stuff.
See, I still feel like I get those emotions.
Yeah.
But I'm still able to, like, if I need to shut them down, I can shut them down quite quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Like, oh, I'm starting to feel a certain way, and but let's say, for example, your behaviour changes, or you start to kind of, I don't know, create that anxiety, or I'm just not feeling it, like, or they're not feeling it and they end it. Like, I can easily, like, shut that down and go, right, that's gone. Yeah. Gone, dead, and buried. Yeah.
See, I tend to date quite logically. I have like a graph, like a tree in my head.
Do you?
Yeah. So like my friend Shannon and I were talking about this recently, and she's got a new boyfriend now, and to be fair, he sounds pretty good. I worry about her sometimes because I know she hasn't always made the best judgments, and I've seen through a lot. Like literally, her, like, in the beginning, I've been like, don't like him, and she's like, why? And I'm like, this is why, I've picked up on this, blah blah blah. And then she won't listen to me, and then I was right the whole time, and then I sit there and I'm like,
told you.
No,
you don't. You do that.
No, I don't.
It's okay, babe.
But in my head I'm like, told you. Yeah. And I was talking to her, and this one who she's dating now does seem different. I do like this. Like, to be fair, I do like the sound of this one, which is good. It's rare for me to like men. Yeah, well, I've not met him yet, so we'll see. Okay. But for now, from what I've heard, it's all right. Okay. And we were talking about this, and obviously I was saying how, like, I've not dated in a fucking long time, like where it's developed into something serious. And I said to her, because she said, like, she had a spark with him. And I'm like, I don't even remember what that feels like. I said, I've not had a spark with anyone in years. Because you get your heart broken when you go off feeling too much. And now I tend to date very logically. And my first thing is, do I find them attractive? Yes, no. If it's no, ends there. If yes, then it's the next thing. Does this person have qualities that I would consider, you know, good enough to have a relationship with? Can they give me a loving, safe relationship? You know, blah blah blah. Yes, no. Usually no, again, ends there, which is why my track record is usually like a month or two, and I'll cut it off then if I'm like, oh no, because I've seen the red flags now, and I'm like, oh yeah,
like, no. The ick.
Again though, I know the difference between a mistake and a character flaw.
Yeah,
you know, everybody makes mistakes and nobody's perfect. I know this, but there are many certain characteristics or types of relationships that can definitely be avoided if you just open your eyes and are detached in the early stages, because men are lazy. If any, actually, that's not a man thing. That's just people in general.
People
in
lazy.
general
They
are
drop
so
the
lazy.
ball.
Yeah, the mask starts to slip after a month. Always after a month, the mask starts to slip, and I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
See you later.
I see the real you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm literally. I think I cannot be fooled. I've been through so much. I've seen it all. And I've lived through it all.
It's interesting, though, that people's masks slip after a month. Because I feel like I've only ever seen it slip after, like, maybe, like, 3 or... I've even...
Really?
Yeah,
oh, mine's always a month.
Oh, really?
Sometimes even less. I'm like, there is.
Oh, so I feel quite good then. If they make it through the month and I've not seen those red flags. Really? Like,
I would give it 3... I mean, the same... Like, the thing is 3 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, 3 to 6. Even after 6, I've seen some people switch.
Serious?
Yeah.
See, I don't know about that. I feel like the signs are always there.
Maybe, and they just start to annoy you more after 6 months, and you're like, actually, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm not doing it.
But yeah, like I say, I date very logically. I've not had a spark with anyone in a fucking long time. And Shannon was saying to me, she was like, if it's meant for you, you would get a spark. And I said, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Some of the most stable relationships that I've had actually didn't start with a spark.
No.
And the reason, and actually they're the healthiest ones.
Exactly. Yeah. And I go off that because I am ready for something serious. You know, I'm okay. I'm absolutely fine with being on my own. Genuinely. I look at some of my friends, or even like in my line of work, people come to me about their problems all the time. And I think, thank God I don't have to deal with that, because I could not be arsed.
Yeah.
Genuinely couldn't be bothered. But at the same breath, like, it would be nice. It would be nice, but, you know, if it doesn't happen, then that's fine. Because I have got a lot of good friendships.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, that's fine.
Your life is full.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the only thing for me that's really missing.
But it's not.
But yeah, exactly.
It's not missing.
No.
It's just, yeah.
And I enjoy my own company as well, a lot. Like, I like to take time to just chill by myself, you know?
Yeah. Have your own
I think
space.
that's important.
Definitely, especially when you're in jobs which involve talking to people all
Yes,
day, every day. Yours is very similar to mine in a way, in that sense.
Yeah,
you're
for sure.
Having to have these conversations.
Yeah, yours is very draining as well, I imagine.
It's a lot of intense, very deep conversations. And so having that alone time is
crucial.
I just get in the door and I'm like, please, nobody speak to me for the next 5 hours. Yeah, I think it's really happy. Like, it's a good place to be when you're happy on your own. And that's the place where you're going to get a healthy relationship from.
Yeah, for sure.
Not where you're just accepting one because you want to feel loved, or you've got that insecure kind of attachment stuff. Definitely.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Fantastic. I feel like we've had a really good chat today.
I feel like it's ended nicely.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching.
And we will see you at the next episode.
Yes, see you then.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.